Gamecast from MSN.
In association with Windows Internet Explorer 8.
Well, hello everyone, and welcome to another MSN Tech and Gadgets Gamecast. You're listening to me, Jane Douglas, your MSN Tech and Gadgets editor, along with Nick Taylor.
Hello.
And your host, Iain Lee, as always.
I'm angry.
He's angry.
I'm really angry. I'm angry with video games. I'm angry with you two, to be honest, because every month we start talking about what we've played this month, and it's all a bit of fun, and you get to play all the pre-release games and, bully for you. And last month, I spent some time playing Heavy Rain, the PlayStation phenomenon that has swept the world, and I didn't like it, and you both said, well, you've only played a little bit, you've got to give it a bit more time, go and give it a bit more time, because it'll start getting really good and you'll really enjoy it. So I did. I gave it quite a bit more time. I worked out how to kneel and talk to the lad. I cooked him some dinner.
Good. Sent
him up to his to do his homework, and then I sent him to bed, and that was all great. Then I had the blackout, and suddenly I'm standing in the rain. I thought, oh yeah, this is quite exciting. Then suddenly I'm a fat man getting a little bit rough with a prostitute. I thought, oh yeah. And then nothing happened. It was really boring. You have to have a fight with a guy, and to have a fight... Oh, it's right, it says press circle. Okay, then press square. I pressed it too late, he hit me. Oh, nothing's happening. Oh, I'm going to get the woman, the prostitute, to talk to me about her son. Oh, so did that, boring. I thought, well, it's going to get better. I've been promised it's going to get better. Suddenly I'm a policeman, right? And I'll go up to another guy and say, I'm looking for detective, or goes through there, okay. And the moment I had to do some sort of swiping motion to get under the police tape, I thought, life is too short. This, my friends, is the Emperor's new clothes. It is all fur coat and no knickers. It's rubbish. It looks amazing. Okay, it looks amazing. The story looks really good. If it were a film on Channel 5 at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, or an episode of Diagnosis Murder, I would probably watch it and quite enjoy it. But as an interactive video game, film, piece of art, whatever you want to call it, it is complete and utter tosh. You both owe me 3 hours of my life. I want it now. It was, honestly, I found it incredibly dull. And I'm saying this because I have not read anywhere, and someone slags me off on the forum for saying this, and we'll go to that later on, but I have not read anywhere anyone saying it's quite boring. And it is, and it is a piece of art. It looks amazing, and it's acted brilliantly and scripted great. It's really, really dull to play. Simple. And when I want play video games, I want to have fun. That's all I want to have fun, and I didn't get that from this.
You do look genuinely upset about this, I must say.
Well, I kind of was psyching myself up to it. I was looking forward to having a go, and I kept putting it off because I thought, no, I want to have a couple of hours at this. I want to really sit down and have a good session, not play video games for a while. I want to have a proper session. And my wife was out, and the flat was empty, and it's like, I'm going to do it. And it was boring. It was really boring. It was almost as dull as an episode of Caprica. It was so dull. So that's my little rant. Oh, I feel good after that. That's a relief to get it off my chest. But everywhere, no one has said it's dull.
I've seen a few people saying it was maybe not boring, but slow, and I think that's the difference. Like I found it really moving, and I know maybe I'm just a bit soft, but I found it quite moving. And although it's slow, I think as long as you're emotionally involved, so to say,
it doesn't.
Then that's fine. But
did I stop too early? Are you going to say you?
Yes,
should carry
there is
on?
a bit where you have to cut your own finger off, which is pretty awesome.
Yeah, do you have to like twist the joypad to do that?
Kind of.
Jeez.
I loved that bit. So
I bet you did. You're weird.
I did love that bit.
You're weird like that. I've had lots of tweets this month, by the way, saying, "Oh, I saw that Jane on Xbox Live who you do the podcast with." So you have lots of weird fans out there who now know what you look like.
Who talk to you?
Yes,
which
is worrying. So yes, Heavy Rain. No, thank you.
I think we have to put it down as a love it or hate it one. Really,
yeah.
Let's do
no
that.
one seems to come in the middle
How
ground.
diplomatic.
That's me. Yeah. I feel like I'm at the peace talks or something.
Yeah.
Again, I throw it open to the forum people, and I've been attacked on the forum.
Do you want to hear it?
Go, let's go on. There was someone who was very angry with anyone who dare criticise this game.
Okay. There's a couple, actually. Kayanetta says, well, although I know there's mixed views on Heavy Rain. It took less than one evening to complete, and I was enthralled from start to finish. Ethan was not the biggest protagonist that demanded sympathy, but the story, the music, the interactivity took the game to a new level.
Good for you.
It was like the dawn of a new gaming age, where it was basically a highly interactive movie.
No,
you didn't need to hear that, did you?
Be like that from now on.
I think I like 10B555's comment though. People who don't get Heavy Rain are probably more suited to playing Space Marines, shooting cuddly aliens, or shooting up Arry ports or noobs online. So is that you, Ian?
I don't get I like running around shooting things. I don't get that dig. That's a dig, isn't it? That's someone is having a dig. But what is wrong? What is wrong with those games? First of all, what game do you go around shooting cuddly aliens? I don't know what that's a reference to. But what is wrong running around shooting things and having fun and having to hide a bit and then I got shot. Oh, let's go and respawn. What's wrong with that? That's fun. In your face. What's his name?
10B555.
10B5. If I ever see him online, there'll be trouble. So I played that and didn't like it. I also played God of War 3. I didn't like that.
Oh.
I tell you what, I don't think it's... I could see that it would be a fun game, and I didn't hate it as much as I hated Heavy Rain. It just wasn't for me. But I could see how people would enjoy it. It's just very linear to me, that kind of... You're just following a very straight path, and there's a lot... It wasn't for me, but I could see that people would like it and would enjoy it very much.
Had you played the earlier ones in the series?
No, I hadn't. This was my first dipping my toe into the water of it.
It's not hugely different.
Right.
It just looks smarter.
It looks amazing, and it did look very, very exciting. It just didn't connect with me. Yeah. But I didn't hate it. I could see why people would love it.
That's a start, yeah.
That's a start. I know I always come in and I sound really grumpy, and I don't mean to.
No, we know.
Maybe I don't like video games.
You're just discriminating.
Yeah, that's it. I'm just discriminating.
Highly discriminating. No, I was playing it on Sunday, actually. Came to it a little bit late, and I came in Monday morning. I was like, I was playing God of War 3 last night. Bit much for a Sunday evening. It's really intense, really quite hard to play. I hadn't gotten that far, actually. It was just the bit where you're gouging your own eyes out in the second person, which was a special experience.
So you like chopping your finger off
and gouging your eyes? I know that doesn't reflect well on me, does it? Really? Yeah, I'm coming off pretty badly here. I'm not actually bloodthirsty, but no, actually, I don't know if I enjoyed that. I was absolutely riveted by it. I thought it was. Yeah. I couldn't look away, so really. But I don't know whether I liked it or not. Right. But it was different. I'll give it that.
Have you played God of War 3, Nick?
I have. Yeah.
Did you like it?
It didn't add as much to the series as I was hoping for, though. Really, I don't think it took a really huge step on other than graphically,
right?
Where it looks spectacular. I mean, the start of it, when you're just there's all these huge titans all around you, and all of that looks fantastic. But I just wanted it to take another step on, which almost left me feeling like I preferred the approach that Darksiders took, which was another very similar sort of hack and slash type game, and that had a little bit of self-referential humour in it and things like that, whereas God of War is very, very serious.
Right.
It's very straight,
really in your face. And as Jane said, you can only play it for quite short bursts because it's so intense and really in your face. And but it's a good game though.
I was reading online that they had to cut the epilogue. They've cut a bit of the game out because it wasn't ready in time or something like that, and I think that's going to be released as downloadable content.
That's handy.
So, exactly. I wonder how much that'll be. So that's something for you God of War 3 fans to get excited about. Jane, what other things have you been playing?
Actually, it was a lot of... Oh, you'll love this. It was the Dragon Age Origins downloadable content. It's called Awakening. It came out mid-March, and it's about another 20 hours, to be honest. So that was time well spent.
Oh, bless you.
I know. It's really appalling, actually, when there's downloadable content out, but also plenty of new games I should be playing, and I go back to downloadable content. I think that's, well, that's just self-indulgent, so...
Nick, anything else that you've...
Moving on. Fine.
My game's... the main game has been Just Cause 2, which I've been playing, which is lots of fun.
Yeah.
The first thing to note about it, though, is that it's got the worst voice acting.
Are we getting those again? That's a shame.
It's terrible. I can't remember a game being this bad, so it must have been a long time since there has been one that with such inept voice acting.
Have we done that as a question on the forum before? I don't know if we have bad voice acting.
No,
if we have, it was a long time ago. Let's toss that out now, kids. If there is, I got told off for calling people kids as well. We're not all kids that listen to it. Yeah, I'm being ironic. But if the bad voice acting games that you have played, let us know on the forum. Resident Evil, the first one was famously, but that was it got away with it because that was one of the kind of the first games that incorporated that. It's disappointing that we're going back to bad voice acting.
I don't understand it because I mean, video games are such a huge industry now. You know, there's got to be a whole raft of people out there that make a living doing voice acting for video games. Where did they find the people for Just Cause 2? Because it's just awful.
Mark Hamill is making a lot of money because Mark Hamill is the Joker in the Batman. He's in another video game.
Yeah, Darksiders.
That's it. Yeah. And playing the Joker again, isn't he?
Pretty much. Yeah, he plays a completely different character in the game, but sounds like the Joker again.
Well done, Mark.
So, yeah.
But is the game any good? Could you look past the bad acting?
The game's great. The game is huge. Like it's this enormous free roaming map, and you can right from the outset you're given access to a helicopter. You can just go anywhere that you want all around.
Oh, I like it. I'm in.
Yeah, it's really good fun. There's no high arching plot or anything like that. It's just go and blow stuff up. The whole point of it is just cause as much chaos as you can. And so it's a real good just veg out, switch off type game for that. And you'll like this as well. They've actually people have uncovered this Easter egg in there where in the top left of the map they've got a properly copied version of the island from Lost appears.
Oh, I heard something about this. Fantastic. Yeah.
And,
exciting.
Because you can fly up there. So you fly up there in your plane, and as you get closer, the storm clouds start brewing, and it gets really dark, and the rain's coming down, and then the lightning starts. And as you come over the island, your plane blows up and crashes.
That's amazing. That sounds better than the actual Lost game, to be honest.
The Lost game was a stinker, wasn't it? Oh, that was terrible. They couldn't even bother. Bad voice acting. The Lost game. There's a perfect example. I didn't expect them to have all of the cast. They had none of the cast. They didn't even have people who sounded like the cast. I think John Locke kind of talked a bit like that. It was just awful puzzle games, and there's bad voice acting. Oh, I might check that out then if there's the Lost Island there.
Yeah, go have a look. I mean, it's a really good fun game. It's nothing remotely realistic about it. You've got this ever respawning parachute on your back that just like flips out at the press of a button, and you can go around the sky on that. But it's
Tempe555 is going to hate that game.
Probably. Well, there's no cuddly aliens in it though, so he might not mind.
You shoot cuddly aliens in, for goodness sakes. Anything else, Nick, that you've been playing?
A bit of Scrap Metal, Xbox Live title.
Oh, now what's this? I don't know this one.
It's a top-down racer.
Yeah.
In the mould of. Do you remember games like Supercars?
Yes, very much so. Yeah.
Off-road racer, Super Sprint, that sort of thing, but brought into up to date.
Yeah.
So cars with weapons. Looked over from the top, feels a bit like Micro Machines as well when you're playing it. And so I went into it really, really wanting to love it, and I didn't love it as much as I wanted to.
Right.
Really, there's something not quite there.
Yeah,
and I think it's the handling of the cars.
Yeah,
for me, it just doesn't make it as fun to play as it should be.
Yeah,
because cars with guns where you can blow each other up with missiles, that should be an amazing game.
When you were a kid at school, did you draw cars with like loads of weapons on and stuff?
Yeah, I did actually. All along the top margin of my exercise.
Did you ever do that, James? Is that a boys' thing?
I'm afraid I did not.
My friend Conan, who is very healthy, he now works as a health and safety officer, drew cars that are really, really safe with like extra padding and stuff. As a kid.
That's adorable.
Okay, another thing I've been playing actually, going off on a slight tangent, the game room on Xbox
Oh yeah, you
Live.
tried it.
Yeah.
Did you have any problems with it?
No, I didn't, because I only did it when it launched. It was freezing, and there were people
on
complaining.
The first day,
it was just the first day, was it? That
more or less.
And so, what was the problem? It didn't work.
It was just freezing. People getting stuck on it, and I didn't actually try it on day one. So
no, I didn't. I'd forgotten all about it, if I'm completely honest. And I read about it there was a brief mention in Retro Gamer. I was like, oh, this and so I went and downloaded it. I had a great time. I can't remember any. I was playing this weird vector graphic Atari game that I can't remember what it was, where you're going around shooting airplanes. And there's a lot of Atari 2600 games and Intellisoft games. They're not brilliant, but for 10, 15, 20 minutes, bashing away. Perfect. Absolutely perfect. And it just looks great. They've done a brilliant job designing it with the rooms and the cabinets, and it's, you know, I'm a huge fan. Anyone else played anything exciting this month before we delve in to the news?
Still haven't finished
News
Final
away.
Fantasy 13, so should we just go on to the news?
Are you?
No, I'm like 25 hours in, and I think I've just about unlocked all of the abilities.
Time to do this?
Well, you see, I don't sleep. So,
okay, that would be it. That would be it. Are you enjoying it? Because I've heard
it's
mixed things.
getting better. It's getting better, but it's been
25 hours in, and it's getting better.
Yeah, well, exactly. Quite. It looks amazing. I kind of I take it in turns, to be honest, with other players, because I just couldn't put that much time in. It's not quite what I wanted, but maybe it will be by the time we get to 30 or 40 hours. So we'll see. Jeez,
that's a lot of dedication. You're still quite young. I haven't got the time
you
or the
certainly
patience
don't.
to do. Was that a go at me there? I think it might have been.
No. I mean, you're a busy man, and I'm,
busy man.
you know,
very
don't
busy
sleep. So yeah.
I'm not that busy, but okay. Listen, the thing that has set the internet ablaze this month is the game debate on the Alan Titchmarsh. Who'd have thought we'd be talking about Titchmarsh here? And what it was, if you don't know, Alan Titchmarsh, former TV gardener, has a daytime chat show, and each day they tackle a controversial topic. And a couple of weeks ago, it was violence in video games. Talked about by what was the name of the guy from CVG? Tim
Ingham.
Tim Ingham. Julie Peasgood, who used to be in Brookside and is now in Hollyoaks, I believe, and Kelvin McKenzie, who, you know, well, it's Kelvin McKenzie for you. And some of the quotes from the show: video games encourage racism and violence. Racism's a new one. I've not heard that thrown in before.
That was an odd one to bring up, I thought. And they just let it pass as well. You know, no one contended that.
And McKenzie threw out the line that video games something to do with there'll be a tsunami of violence.
That was a good line.
It's a brilliant line, and he's obviously worked on that one before he came on. But it was just the most one-sided, because I missed it. And I know that there's like a whole thread. There's a hash game debate thing on Twitter, and Charlie Brooker has written about it. Lots of other video games journalists have written about it online and elsewhere. So I watched it, and it is just the most hideous, one-sided nonsense. You saw it, didn't you? You watched the link.
Seen it. Yeah, it was. These things really wind me up because they are just there for the single purpose of reinforcing a stereotype about something and reinforcing a prejudice that people already have about something. And they brought Tim Ingham onto this show just
so sorry for him.
Oh yeah, well he was up against it right from the start, wasn't he? But trying to show that they were being even-handed and showing both sides of the debate. And I thought he made his points really, really well throughout.
Yeah.
But they never listened to him.
They didn't listen.
No.
That was the frustrating thing when Titchmarsh did a nonsense argument. But you can't stop. You know, the film. Tim said, "Well, but what about films that are violent and have violence and sex and things in it?" And Titchmarsh said, "Well, you can stop kids watching those by not bringing them into the house." He said, "Well, hang on. What about TV? What about DVDs? They're there. You know, kids will see these things. You know."
He didn't appear. Titchmarsh didn't actually appear to be aware that games are rated either.
No, he didn't know anything. That seemed to be was what came across.
Yeah, because the first thing I think Tim Ingham said was, "But games are rated. You know, they are rated like movies. There are, you know, frameworks in place to stop them getting in the hands of kids. And the question should be, why are kids playing these games? Not, you know, obviously. I mean, they were." In a way, they're on the same side. Both sides don't think kids should be exposed to violence in video games, but it could have been a more interesting discussion, obviously. Yeah.
And also, Julie Peasgood has come out. She's in a really violent Martian Gothic video game from I think about 1998 or something like that, where it's quite a horrible, violent, nasty game, and she does voice acting in it. So. Her point, she did this really big rant. I hate violence and
for entertainment purposes. Yeah.
Big round of applause, but you'll take the dollar if it's. But you know, listen, there are. Go on the forums and listen. That's kind of is the question I want to ask this month. Is have you ever played a video game that you think is too violent? And I'm not sure I have played one that's made me go, oh, that's a step too far. I mean, there's the famous thing, obviously, is the airport scene in Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2. Is it? I get confused with all the different numbers and things. But even that, you don't have to kill people in it. It's relevant to the story. And all the time it was going on, I'm thinking... I did take someone out, actually, he was crawling away. But all the time I'm thinking, It's just a video game. This is not...
Well, that's the key, isn't it?
It's a video game.
Yeah, it's being able to draw that distinction between real and pretend.
Yeah.
And video games are always pretend. I think that's probably why, like we've said before, you don't find video games particularly scary, because they're not real.
Yeah.
And that's always a pretty obvious distinction, certainly in my opinion.
But I think there are some people who wouldn't be able to make that distinction, a very tiny minority. But there are also the same people who wouldn't be able to make the distinction when watching a film or when watching there are always people who are going to be slightly unbalanced, and have mental issues that might not be able to make that distinction. But that's going to happen anywhere, There are people who are ill, and, you can't blame video games for violence and things.
No, you can't make sweeping laws that prosecute everyone else just for the problems of a tiny minority that just can't deal with playing or watching a film.
Well, it turns out you can. Switzerland have banned violent video games. Now, this has only just come into place, and so no one quite knows how this is going to manifest itself, whether it means that Grand Theft Auto and things like that will be banned. But they have passed a law which says that they can stop violent video games. So Switzerland's not the place to go if you're a gamer.
Yeah, it's interesting, because I saw that, and the quote was, if it contains cruel violence, so not any kind of violence, cruel violence towards human and human-like or something like that, characters for success. Okay. So there's a specific criteria for these games to be banned, and like you say, they haven't really worked out the fine details of what gets banned and what doesn't get banned. But how do you? I mean,
can I still shoot cuddly aliens? Is that going to be?
That's pretty cruel.
That's kind of cruel. Because it would be just
if they were ugly. I don't know. We'll see.
Okay, well, it's been quite a ranty show today. Should we talk about something nice?
Yeah.
BAFTAs, video game BAFTAs.
Yes.
Happened. Were you invited?
Not this year. Didn't go this year.
No, nor was I. What's going on there? I missed out on something. Miyamoto got a Lifetime Achievement Award.
Very good,
which is very... How old is he now? He's got to be in his...
Looks good for it.
He's getting on. He's got to be nearly 60, hasn't he? I don't know.
I think he's 58.
Is he really? Because he does look like he's like 40 or something, and he always has that energy and that enthusiasm. And he's got this brilliant smile that he's got when he's holding the BAFTA.
Yeah.
This brilliant smile where he's just going, "I made up Mario."
I would smile too. Yeah.
I beat him at Mario Brothers once. The original
Really?
Mario Brothers. I played him in Nintendo in Kyoto, and I beat him. And he was being a bit cocky, and then suddenly he was like, "Oh, hang on a second," and I thrashed him.
Good work.
Dreams can come true. What other news? Have you got any of the other BAFTA?
Yeah,
news?
It was Batman Arkham Asylum got Best Game and Best Gameplay.
Wow.
So they're the two big awards, really. And that was pretty much well deserved. A little bit of a surprise.
I think so. It was a really good game, wasn't it, Batman? But for Best Game, it was up against Uncharted 2, and I would probably come down just about on the side of Uncharted 2.
Yeah, that had a lot of... I've not played that, and I probably should, because I've heard some excellent things about it. But that did have a lot of excellent reviews and people saying this is the best game ever. But it didn't...
It won a lot of other stuff. It got action game, score, and audio. Which, I mean, score, fair enough. Audio... I don't know, maybe.
So much.
Yeah, not so much. No. And story. It got story as well, which is...
Yeah, that's fair. Story. I thought the story was really good.
Yeah.
It kept you going along in a real film-like way.
True.
Yeah, I think I couldn't think of anything else.
I think it's funny, these games that we laud for having great stories, though, because Heavy Rain, I mean, I know you didn't enjoy it, Ian, but
great story, though.
Was great story.
Yeah, definitely.
And Uncharted 2, great story, and they are great stories. But if they were films, you'd be like, that's a mediocre film,
right?
You know what I mean? So I don't know, some way to go yet. But I did enjoy it, and I would have given it. Yeah, story. I think that was pretty good. An action game, fair enough. Yeah, and Modern Warfare 2 obviously got the popular choice, the popular vote, the game award.
Still winning awards.
Yeah, handheld was an interesting one, I thought, because there were no iPhone games in it.
No, that's
nominated for it.
Wow.
Were they eligible? Do you know?
Well, if they're not, they should be. I don't know whether they are or not, but I wonder whether that's going to change next year, because I mean the iPhone and now the iPad.
Yeah, I think we've been quite critical of of iPhone games because of the control system, but in the last 3 months, I think it's really starting to kind of move into its own, and they're starting to get the control system right. I was playing the Commodore 64 game Bruce Lee on my iPhone 2 days ago, and it was jittery, but it kind of worked. And games like Doom plays brilliantly on the iPhone, so they're starting to work out what works. That tipping doesn't work. You don't want to tip it around to move and stuff.
Sorry for steering.
any other BAFTA bits and pieces, or have we covered?
Artistic achievement was Flower, which you might remember from way back.
Yeah, of course.
Talking about that one. What else do we have right now? As we speak, the Xbox community is melting down a little bit because the Modern Warfare 2... Yes, right now, the stimulus package, so it's called, the first map pack is supposed to be out today, and it's been delayed. It's not out at the time of recording. And last I heard, it was going to be another few hours at the least, because they need to put out a title update to, to fix everything and get it running. So,
you're listening to this. Hopefully, you will have downloaded this by the time you listen to this, or it could still be an ongoing.
Better not be. There'll be riots. Yeah,
could all be kicking off.
But we were saying before we came in, like, if you're, I mean, all the people who are getting really mad about it are people who are either not at work or at school at this time, and are getting really mad that there's not these 5 extra maps to play.
Go and get a job.
Well, or there's a whole bunch of maps on. I mean, I know you're fed up at playing Modern Warfare on the regular maps, but it'll, just a few more hours. Just a few more hours.
People will set their alarms for 7 o'clock this morning, and will be up going, "I'm going to download it now. It's not working." Getting very upset. Well, I'm sure.
Very soon.
Very soon.
Calm down, people.
Yes. What's this? A 3D DS?
Oh yeah.
Is this happening?
Could be.
Because 3D keeps getting dangled under our noses as the new thing. I don't think that we're particularly convinced. But a 3D DS could be interesting. What do we know? Is this
just that there's going to be one? That's the
there's definitely going to be one.
Yeah, it wasn't a leak, not really. It was an official announcement, but it was an official announcement of an official announcement come E3, wasn't it? So they said, come E3, we'll be showing you the DS, or we'll be properly unveiling it. But for the time being, we just know there's going to be one, and it's not going to use glasses, which is quite interesting.
Yeah, that's not going to work then, is it?
It might. There's actually I'll link it on the forum, but there's a Japanese DSiWare game that produces a 3D-like effect without glasses by using the camera in the DSi. Do you remember Johnny Lee and that reverse Wii head tracking thing, where he'd taken the sensor bar and put it here, and then it gave that 3D effect when you move, and it's a bit like that, only with the DSi and the camera. And so when you move the handheld console, it knows where it is relative to your face and kind of gives you a magic window. Oh, so like you're looking out of behind the console, which is quite interesting.
It does look really good.
I would like that.
Yeah,
I mean, that's not necessarily that there's no... I mean, we don't know that's how it's going to work, but that is one way it could work without glasses. And Nintendo's not going to wheel out some like really crazy expensive newfangled tech. That's not really like them. It would be something that exists that they're really good at marketing, rather than something brand new.
It does sound excellent, and I would certainly have a piece of that pie if there was one on offer. Everyone is kind of just recycling the current hardware though at the moment, aren't they? It feels like we're treading water slightly with
the Move and the a little bit. Maybe.
Wouldn't it be exciting if in a couple of months or 6 months or whatever we came in and we could talk about the next generation of consoles that Microsoft or Sony had broken through and said, okay, we're going to make the announcement.
They're not ready for that, though.
No, they're not ready for it, are they?
It
would be great to have a PlayStation 4 or an Xbox 980 or whatever.
What for?
I don't know. But I mean, when we had PlayStations, like PlayStation 1s, and there was talk of PlayStation 2. I remember the big thing was the emotion chip. Do you remember the emotion chip? It can read your emotions. It will learn. How we fell for that one. What idiots we were. The artificial intelligence. It will learn from how you play. But you can never comprehend quite what the next gen is going to do. PlayStation to PlayStation 2 couldn't really comprehend. PlayStation 2 to PlayStation 3, Xbox to Xbox 360 couldn't comprehend how big that leap was going to be. So it's always hard to imagine. But what would I want? I don't know. They're updating the hardware. The software seems to be the thing. That's what they're doing at the moment. I don't know. Something smaller, sexier, buttons, flashing lights. I don't know. That'd be good, wouldn't it? A portable Xbox, portable 360 that you can carry around on the train. That would be great.
That'd be good. Yeah, you have the base unit in your living room, but you have a little portable one that streams to it or something, so that you can take it anywhere.
That'd be great. And Microsoft haven't done. There was always rumours that they were going to do a handheld.
There's rumours at the moment of a slim/light version of the Xbox. There were some photos of a new motherboard, new guts, and that would maybe form a lighter Xbox, but it's still the same hardware,
right? Yeah,
just in a smaller form factor,
smaller box.
It's not quite what you're getting.
To overheat a little bit quicker, as they do. But that's all sorted out, so that's good. But yes, I don't know what I'd like to see, but I'd like to see. I want PlayStation 4. Just want to say it. I just want to go on PlayStation 4, please. Would be exciting. Oh, Nick, you had some stuff actually, didn't you? There's a huge list of games that are coming out that I've completely ignored.
That's right.
You've sourced all these. These are all coming out before the end of May, are they?
These titles, yeah. Well, just it occurred to me just how many massive games are coming out over the next 4 to 6 weeks. There's a huge amount of big stuff. We're just coming into April. We've got Super Street Fighter 4, which is not much of an update, but it's still very cool.
Super.
Alan Wake. Really, really excited about that one.
Yep.
Red Dead Redemption, Lost Planet 2, Mod Nation Racers.
What's
looks
that?
like a quirky little game. It's been described as the Little Big Planet of racing games.
Okay.
Got some really nice track creating tools.
Yeah.
That does look like fun.
That could be good.
Yeah, it looks cool. Prince of Persia, new one of that. Forgotten Sands.
You also mentioned in your email the Prince of Persia film.
Oh dear.
And, I saw it. I've seen trailers for it. It looks like a stinker, doesn't it? I think one of the first podcasts we ever did was game to film conversions, and they very rarely, if ever, work. And I know that they've chucked a load of money at this, and it's CGI and special effects and all of that. I don't know if people are going to dig it though. If anyone's really going to enjoy it. But
I don't think the trailer is great. The film might be adequate. We don't know, but
hey, shall we go on a trip to go and see it together? We can do like a live, immediately post movie, on the spot report as to what we thought of it. Let's do something like that.
I like it. Yeah, so lots of big games. There's a big racing game Clash coming as well, which is Split Second Velocity coming out about a week apart from Blur, and they're both going to be racing games with lots of explosion. It's more cars with guns and weapons and things like that.
It's the time he's brought that up today.
Yeah.
What does that tell you about Nick?
Cars and guns, it's all good. But Split Second is going to be blowing up the track to destroy all of the surrounding arenas. Yeah. Whereas Blur is more about equipping your car with weapons and shooting the
it's
other
like
cars.
Mario Kart, but with realistic cars.
Very much so,
a good
yeah.
way of putting it, and which I think it looks good actually. Blur, but you've played Split Second, and I haven't played Split Second.
I have, yeah, and it was very, very, just really bombastic, proper like movie style.
You really make me laugh today, Nick. You're so bombastic. Very funny. Let's go to the forums very quickly. Thank you to Mecha Madness, who answered the question, what were the ghosts called in Pac-Man? I know you're all desperate to know. The red ghost was Shadow, his nickname was Blinky. Pink ghost was Speedy, nickname Pinky. Blue ghost was Bashful, nickname Inky. Orange ghost was Pokey, nickname Clyde. I don't know why they didn't go for a rhyme for that one, but they decided against it. So thank you very much for that.
The orange one seems to be really hated by whoever made this game, because I looked this up also on Wikipedia.
Yeah.
And reading into this, whether it's true, but they have
Wikipedia, the home of made up facts. Yes,
they have lots of other names for the ghosts on there, including some that are apparently translated from the Japanese, which says the red ghost is Chaser, the pink ghost is Ambusher, the blue ghost is Fickle, and the orange ghost is Stupid.
That's lovely.
Poor orange.
Seems a bit unfair.
Good research.
Thanks.
Anything else? We asked about weapons, didn't we?
We did ask about weapons. David Lowe says, my weapon would be the Infector from Ratchet & Clank, as it made your enemies attack each other. Fair enough. And heavy rain should be a lot harder. Shouldn't be able to stick on X-ray glasses to find clues. So
is that what you could?
Did you even get that? You didn't even get that far, did you? Because you didn't go under the police tape. You didn't put on the glasses.
I went under the. Oh no! I
did put on the glasses.
I put the glasses on, and I thought that was when I turned it off. Yeah,
okay.
I put the glasses
you do know
on.
The glasses. Right.
Retrohead says, my weapon of choice would be from Postal 2. I don't know that game. A machine gun shoved up a cat's behind, used as a silencer. Alan Titchmarsh would have a fit if he knew about that.
We go back to 10B555 because he said a lot.
Yes.
And I thought it's quite interesting. He says, I hate now how games are marked down due to the lack of online, and how first-person shooters now have to have online and single-player come second. And I think that's a fair point, because you get tacked on multiplayer modes, and not everyone's got a lot of time for multiplayer.
Yeah,
and
you're right.
if Modern Warfare is the only multiplayer you're going to play, then it doesn't matter if the next game does have it or not.
But then he goes on to say, heavy rain goes back to the games of old. and puts its main focus on storytelling. Well, that's not true. Games of old didn't...
Pac-Man.
Pac-Man, exactly. Where's the story? You got to go and eat some pills, and then Defender, you know.
Jet Set Willy had a nice storyline.
Jet Set, he was drunk, wasn't he? He had to go and collect the goblets or goblins.
He had to tidy up the house before his wife got home.
That was it, and it was impossible to finish because there was a bug in it, which meant you couldn't get into one room. So, in that respect, yes, 10B555, you're correct. Yes.
Forerunner Relic comes up. And I'm sad about Forerunner Relic because he's got nothing left to look forward to this year. In terms of gaming, at least. Nothing left this year that piques my interest, really. I'm so upset at that. We need something to pique Forerunner Relic's interest, I think.
Well, let us know what kind of things you like, Forerunner. I'm sure we can find a game in 2010 that you can get excited about. Must be.
Steamo said, I don't like Project $10, which is what we were talking about last time.
Yes.
Kind of DLC plans and everyone else's DLC plans. I think it's a way of getting people to buy the game new and giving them substandard DLC that should already have been in the game. Mass Effect 2 with Zaid was a real letdown for me. He was a character you could only get if you bought the game new, and it came with a code that you could download an extra character with. Or you could pay separately for it. The character was annoying. He didn't offer anything to the game for me. As for Activision sacking West and Zampella, it looks as though they're protecting their potential income. I thought Infinity Ward was within their right to tender out for a new contract. That's what we were talking about with the Infinity Ward bosses getting sacked last month.
That thing with the Project $10, apparently some guy in the States is suing over this now. He's suing a second-hand game store in the States called GameStop because they sold him, I believe the game was Dragon Age, actually, which if you buy it first time, you get some
the DLC
of this
code,
DLC, but if you buy it second-hand, that code may have been used already.
Yeah.
And he's saying that he wasn't made aware of this when he bought this second-hand copy, that he wouldn't get the DLC that is advertised on the box.
Right.
Yeah, I think there's some education needed there, like whether you like the system or not. It probably isn't clear to a lot of people that you'll get an incomplete game second-hand.
Right.
But then that said, the whole initiative is to discourage second-hand game sales, so that probably works out all right if you're a publisher. So.
And we're talking about sort of the EA games having the little stickers in the charity shops.
Yeah.
Mine have gone.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they had it in 2 charity shops near me, and the little posters saying trade your game in here and get whatever it is they
maybe it was a temporary promotion.
Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah,
Things are afoot. Well, that's your lots, kids. I think we've done plenty, haven't we?
Yeah, definitely.
Should we send them to the remind people, because we've not said this right. You can get us on iTunes if people aren't getting us on iTunes.
Please do get us on iTunes.
Type in MSN Gamecast, I suppose.
That
will find it for you. You can find us on the. I'm doing your job. Sorry.
No, please, Ian. I want to. Take it away.
You can find us on the MSN
What's the URL?
Website. I don't know. Could you do it now,
Yes,
please?
I'll take over. It's tech.uk.msn.com. Just click on games, podcasts, come over to us. Yeah, the homework, if you'd like to.
Yes, your homework this month, dear listener, is twofold. Have you ever played a game that you think is too violent? Maybe it's one scene, maybe it's a whole game or something where you've gone, actually, do you know what, that's just going a little bit too far. And also, what was the other one I threw out earlier on?
Worst voice acting.
That was it. I've got the memory of a sieve. The worst voice acting in video games. Don't laugh at me. Come on, it's been a long day. The worst voice acting that you've seen in video games. And the forum address is...
tech.uk.msn.com, once again.
Beautiful. Just
click on games, come to podcasts. Until next time.
Can we have another Easter cake now, please?
Dig in.
Thank you. Ta-ta.
Goodbye.
Gamecast from MSN.
In association with Windows Internet Explorer 8.